Introduction to a map. Have you ever been to an amusement park? If so, think about your first experience there. Theme parks are usually quite large. Sometimes it's overwhelming to know where to start. How did you figure out where to go at first? Were you given a pamphlet at the entrance to help guide you through the park? That guide is a map. It likely had pictures and symbols on it, as well as words underneath those pictures, telling you the details of each place or ride, as well as the path you should take to get there. Reading and using maps takes practice. Understanding the different parts of a map will help you know how to use one. Maps can be very useful tools in helping us find our way around in a lot of different circumstances. For example, you might use a map while hiking in the forest. It can help you find your way on a trail, locate a different trail, and even tell you how difficult the various hikes will be. A map can also be found in shopping malls. These maps help you locate stores and where they are in relation to where you're standing in the moment. Sometimes those maps will have a star with the words "You are here" written next to it. This is done so you know both your location and how to find your way from that point on the map to the store you're trying to get to. There can be maps of a neighborhood showing where your house and your neighbors' houses are located and how to get to each one. Perhaps most commonly, maps are used to help give you directions when you're driving. Years ago, before cell phones, a map that you held in your hands was what people primarily used for directions to get from place to place. There was no Google Maps or Siri to guide you to your destination or do the work for you. Various maps of different destinations were available to purchase in gas stations or in grocery stores. Sometimes these maps were quite large. To use them, they were unfolded and laid out flat. After determining where you were on the map, you could choose from the many different paths where you wanted to go. Sometimes someone held the map in the front seat and gave directions to the driver, similar to what Siri does on our cell phones now. Landmarks are important features on a map. They help us identify our surroundings or the area around us, with familiar objects that stand out against the scenery. These landmarks help us to know where we are. For instance, if you were looking at a map of Keystone, South Dakota, Mount Rushmore might be on that map, or a map of San Francisco might have the Golden Gate Bridge as a landmark. The Statue of Liberty in New York City might be on another map, or maybe a large body of water like the Mississippi River or the Great Salt Lake in Utah. Landmarks are important parts of a map that help us gauge if we are going in the correct direction. Like landmarks, there are also symbols on maps that may show cities, parks, bus stops, buildings, lakes, rivers, and famous attractions. Lines on maps show boundaries, streets, highways, railroad tracks, and more. Colors on maps can also represent what the area is covered in. For example, if there are forests, mountains, deserts, or ice. Most maps also include a legend or a key. A legend shows the meaning of the symbols and colors on a map. Some of the symbols on a map might include a thin squiggly blue line, which might represent lakes in the area. There may be a red line made with several dashes that aren't connected. That could represent railroad tracks or a walking path. A red line that is connected might show you where the street is. There might be squares on the map which represent certain buildings or stores. A big green area might show where a park is, and a bunch of little triangles together could represent mountains. All these symbols help you understand where you are and guide you to where you want to go. The key is useful to help you identify what each symbol means. Keys or legends vary from map to map. Most maps show an area from above, as if you were looking down on the map. Think of a map of what a bird might see while flying over the land. You can see the different places like roads, lakes, rivers, mountains, valleys, buildings, and much more. Of course, a map does not show the actual size of a place. Just like when you draw a picture of a house, you do not draw it as big as a real house. Maps are created the same way. They are made smaller so people can read them from a book and can fold them in their pocket. A globe is also a map of the entire world. Almost all maps will include a compass, which shows 4 directions: north, east, south, and west. If you're looking at a map of the United States, New York is on the east side of the map, and California is on the west side. They are on opposite sides of the map from each other. Montana is north, while Texas is south. They are also opposite of each other. Within each state, those directions remain the same. If you are heading towards the top of California, you are going to Northern California, where you will find giant redwood trees. If you are heading to the bottom, you are going to the southern part of California, where movies are made in Hollywood. The compass helps us understand which direction we are headed or need to go, depending on which area we would like to visit or need to get to. If you are trying to get to a park, you would use the key on a map to help locate where the park is. Once you find the park on your map, the compass would then be used to show you the direction you need to head to get there. If the park is located in the top right corner of your map and you are in the middle of the map, you would know you would need to head northeast, which means you would head up to north and then right to east. Maps are made so you can see a large area in a small space. If you are at home and you want to know what's on the other side of town, you can find it on a map. A map may only be 10 inches long and 6 inches wide, but may show an area that is hundreds or even thousands of miles in size. These maps help with directions while traveling from one place to another. Let's look at how maps are useful in our everyday life. A map might be used to help you find your classroom in a new school, as well as where the lunchroom and office are. In your classroom, a map might help you know the layout of the room and where the art supplies, books, and exit are located. Outside of the school, a map of the city can help you know how to find your way around town using different landmarks. This map might show where the police station, hospital, library, and your school are located. On a bigger map, the entire state might be shown with directions how to find your city amongst many other cities. A map of the entire United States would help you know how to get to the right state so that you could find the right city. Pilots use maps to help them navigate the entire world and fly from country to country. So you can see, maps are very important. They assist people who are lost to find their way home. They also help first responders find the right location of an emergency, so they can help people in need. Maps help us view beautiful scenery and also find our way to relatives and friends' houses. Maps can help us know where the nearest gas station or grocery store is located and even help us get to our seats in a large arena. We use maps more than you might think, whether it's on your phone or in your pocket. Maps help us find where we need to go. Thanks for following Clarendon Learning. Be sure to subscribe for more